The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet will have more than $100 million less than they were expecting this year. I'll tell you why coming up.
It's an expensive machine, but jailers say it's a priceless tool to help keep inmates safe.
What this woman learned from her search for an online job and how it can save you time and money coming up.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening. Governor Matt Bevin promised during his campaign to cut programs deemed too expensive for the state to pay for. And this week, one of his first orders cuts the state's transportation budget by over $100 million.
The order calls for more than half of those savings to come from a reduction in state road aid to cities and counties. Now, transportation officials are trying to figure out how to implement those cuts. Sean Moody has the details in our top story at 5:30.
Revenue sharing will take the biggest hit with this budget cut. Cities and counties will get $62 million less than they were expecting from the Transportation Cabinet. This is the budget cut document filed Monday and now weighing pretty heavily on the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
People are driving less. There are more fuel-efficient cars.
The drop in fuel sales means they'll take in more than $112 million less than the state forecast back in 2014. To compensate, the governor's office and state budget office filed this order.
And if you notice, all of this right here is statutory reductions.
It'll affect several areas of the Transportation Cabinet and will filter down to local governments.
The revenue sharing here will be the biggest parts.
A combined $90 million will come from revenue sharing and highways projects. Revenue sharing is the part of the road fund that gets forwarded on to local city and county governments.
Yeah, it's for local road projects. Basically, the autonomy rests with the county governments. They can decide on some of their projects. It just depends on which program that they're receiving the revenue from.
Transportation officials are still figuring out what they'll do about the nearly $30 million they'll have to cut from their own projects.
We have not specified any particular projects. All projects are on the table, and we're just taking a look at those.
The Transportation Cabinet spokesman said no employees' jobs were in danger as a result of those cuts. In Frankfort, Sean Moody, WKYT.
That spokesman said the majority of the cuts are mandated by the state governments.
Jailers in Pulaski County are hoping some new scanners will help cut down on contraband being brought into the building. They are the first of their kind in the state of Kentucky. Our Caitlin Settner has more from the Pulaski County Detention Center.
And one of our goals was to make this jail as secure as could be because things were fairly rampant in it.
The Pulaski County Detention Center admits January of 2015 wasn't the best of times when it came to contraband.
We were finding drugs, we were finding weapons, just all kinds of different things.
It was an issue that can have life-threatening implications.
Overdoses are a very good possibility for the people that are coming in here that are using drugs. We see them in their DT phase, and it's a real issue. It's a life-threatening issue for them. That's
why 2015 was the year to get rid of contraband, and the jail is the first in the state to use a full-body scanner, giving them essentially a X-ray image and the ability to view anything the inmate is carrying on them, inside and out.
It's a quick process. It only takes about 10 seconds for a jailer to learn if an inmate is carrying anything abnormal.
Scanner through.
Once a scan is taken, a jailer can view the image and immediately know if there's anything abnormal, like this example used for training purposes, where there are balloons full of drugs inside this person.
So they would have to be taken to the hospital and get them, for them to be medically removed.
This is a big step forward for the jail. It means far less contraband, making for a safer environment.
It'll be really hard for them to get in here. Nothing is 100% perfect, but this really gets it close.
In Pulaski County, Caitlin Settner, WKYT.
And the jailer hopes to start using that new technology within the next 2 weeks.
If you are holding out hope for some snow days in 2016, you may have to wait just a bit longer. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has an early look now at your forecast. Chris?
Yeah, dealing with another little round of some slightly above normal temperatures over the next few days. So far, it's been a little colder than normal this week to start the month of January, and it's going to get a lot colder as we go into late this weekend and especially next week. Short term looks good. 42 degrees popular. Jackson, Lexington 41, into the Frankfurt area, capital city at 41. A little milder around the Corbin area, but all 4 locations now with a partly to mostly cloudy sky. Those are high clouds that are out there, and if you're out this evening, those temperatures will drop as temperatures remain on the chilly side through the overnight into tomorrow morning. Mix of some stars and some clouds. Those are high ice crystal clouds. As the sun sets and skies try to open up a little bit, temperatures will drop very quickly toward the freezing mark, if not a little below. Moisture, though, across the Plain States, Mississippi Valley, that is heading toward Kentucky as we go into the end of the week toward Thursday night into Friday. Short term, it's upper 30s to low 40s across the entire area, and that little surge of moisture being accompanied by some milder air out across western Kentucky, parts of southeastern Missouri, with a lot of upper 40s that are showing up. What's highlighting the 7-day forecast, or low lighting, it's all about your perspective on that one. Arctic cold blasts start to show up. We'll track those when I get back in a few.
Chris, thank you. The next battle for Medal of Honor recipient Dakota Meyer could be in an Alaskan courtroom.
Tonight, we have a copy of his child custody lawsuit against Bristol Palin. WKYT's Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with the new details. Jennifer?
Sam, in the past hour, we have received this copy of the suit from the Alaska court system. He filed it in Alaska because that's where Bristol Palin and her baby live. As you may remember, Palin is the daughter of former vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. The pair split in May, just before they were set to be married on Dakota Meyer's farm here in Kentucky. A few weeks later, Bristol Palin revealed she was pregnant, but never said who the father was. On Christmas Eve, Meyer posted a photo of a baby on Twitter with the caption, "Best Christmas present ever." Meyer seeks joint legal and shared custody of the minor child. The baby girl is named Sailor Grace Palin. But in the lawsuit filed, Meyer says he believes that he is the biological father. He also requests child support in accordance with Alaska law, and he should get to claim the child as a dependent for income tax purposes. In an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Bristol's mother, Sarah Palin, said their family tried to reach out to Dakota Meyer for months, but he wanted nothing to do with them or the baby. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Bristol's representative also released a statement today saying her values are such that, quote, a real American hero doesn't ask for child support.
Tomorrow, a Louisville man who works in the gun industry will meet with President Obama to talk about his plan to reduce gun violence in America. Barry Laws is the president of the American Firearms Retail Association and the CEO of Open Range in Crestwood. He'll be in Virginia tomorrow to take part in a roundtable discussion about President Obama's new executive order regarding gun control. Laws says gun buyers in Kentucky likely will not notice any changes from the president's plan.
Well, what I want the public to understand is nothing is changing as far as coming into a gun shop and buying a gun. Nothing is changing.
The president's plan involves expanding background checks, beefing up existing gun laws, and improving care for the mentally ill.
One person has died in an early morning crash in Clay County. It happened about 7 this morning on Martin Cemetery Road. State police say that Betchel Collett lost control of his car, ran off the road, and turned over. His car landed in a creek. He died at the scene. And in Bell County, a severe crash has sent 2 people to the hospital. It happened on US 119 in the Page community. State police say a log truck was attempting to make a left turn when it was hit by a car. Both the driver and a passenger in the car were flown to the University of Tennessee Medical Center. Their conditions are not known at this time. The driver of the log truck was not hurt.
Police have arrested a man for an attempted robbery. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Madison County. 33-year-old James Robert Cornett is charged with attempted robbery. Richmond police say he entered Personal Touch Dry Cleaners and attempted to rob the store with a knife. The owner told police that a noise distracted the intruder and he was able to escape. Nothing was taken from the business. Police found 3 firearms in Cornett's home. They believe one of them was used in the robbery attempt. In Woodford County, an overturned vehicle vehicle temporarily closed 2 lanes of Bluegrass Parkway and sent 1 person to the hospital. The crash happened this afternoon under the overpass at exit 68. The vehicle overturned, trapping 1 person inside. Woodford County Fire Department and emergency personnel arrived at the scene. Both lanes were initially closed, but the roadway has since reopened. And in Perry County, police are searching for a woman accused of stealing a wallet and using the credit cards inside it. Hazard police are searching for the woman in this photo. They say she used credit cards from a wallet that was stolen at the Save-A-Lot on Citizens Lane. Police say she made several purchases with the stolen cards. They're asking businesses and shoppers to be on the lookout for her.
It seemed like the perfect job, work from home and no heavy lifting. But the job turned out to be a trap set by con men looking to make a quick buck for themselves.
Go on Craigslist, you know, they have jobs always, you know.
Blair decided to take her friend's advice and look for a job online. She quickly found a personal assistant job that would allow her to work from home.
Processing orders, processing payments, you know, going to the bank, picking up banks, doing money orders.
For her first assignment, deposit a $2,000 check she received in the mail. Then send 3 money orders to addresses she received by email.
It was all through email. And I should have known. I should have known.
She became apprehensive and asked to speak to her employer in person. The response? I am currently at a conference and cannot take calls. Okay, I understand. Call me at your earliest convenience, please. Instead of her employer calling, she got another text. What exactly is the issue? I have never done business through email or through text message, especially regarding high-value currency.
Why would someone trust you that has not seen you ever in their life with $2,000?
She reached out to postal inspectors and her fears were confirmed. The check was counterfeit. The employer's goal? To steal Blair's money. Inspectors say it's always important to do your homework before accepting a job online.
Make sure that this company is legitimate. Get references from that company, find other individuals that may be working for that company.
And I was just looking for something fast, and fast is not always good. Fast is easy, but it's not always good.
She's right. Unfortunately, Blair did not lose any money because she never deposited that counterfeit check. If she had followed the instructions, she would have withdrawn against her account, and once the bank realized it was a fake, she would have been responsible for the money lost.